Right. Cool. You can hear something. Okay. And it's not just very faintly, right? Okay. Okay. Let's do this then. We will do this in the way that all James Chen streams need to do this. Let's see here. Oh, sweet. Nice. That'll be awesome to see you back into everything, what, Tim? God, right? This thing never ends early. Alright, starting a James Chen stream the way that James Chen streams all need to start. With the kitty here. Oh, we have started lagging video. We have started lagging the video. Oh, okay, it's catching up a little bit. Hey, Nathan. Hey, Nathan. Hey, Nathan. You are cuddly right now. This cat is it's time for the belly rub now. Is that what this is here? Is this time for the belly rub? But, oh no, there it is. Ah, yeah. Oh, it's like I'm not in a comfortable enough position for the belly rub just yet. Not comfortable enough. Look at this happy cat face, man. Look at this happy cat face. Thank you for scratching my ears. Oh, look at this. A new Injustice version 1.10 update file. Sweet. Alright, here we go. Oh, look at this. Look at all the I don't know, look at all this cat fuzz on my hand. Alright. Let's do this, shall we? Cat fuzz everywhere. Alright, let's do this. So if you guys just tuned in and you weren't, oh geez, the video is delayed again. Yeah, sorry, the video and the audio is going to be a little bit off right now. But basically, if you guys didn't tune in yesterday and you're wondering what's going on, basically, I am just doing a lot of experimentation, just trying to figure out the exact way that the system works in this game, and really just breaking down everything I can in the game in terms of how the system mechanics work and everything. Yesterday, and I will get these up on YouTube, yesterday I went through all of the movement options, you know, like wave dashing. I went through all the super jump stuff, all the crazy super jump things that I was discovering about, like the super hops. I went through all the buttons. I found out, you know, like how the Magic series works, and it's really very unique based on each character, etc., etc. I did a whole bunch of stuff. We found out a lot of information on the spikes, for example. Like I can actually get that weird, crazy wheel off of that. One thing I did want to mention about the super hop here that I forgot to mention yesterday is that if you've played Smash Brothers before, if you're coming from a Smash Brothers background, you can obviously influence your movement in that game as well. So, for example, you could actually, you know, jump and you can fast fall, or you can guide yourself and everything like that. The one difference that I want to make sure that I cover about between this game and Smash Brothers, in case you're coming from Smash Brothers, is that in Smash Brothers your movement can be manipulated at any time. So even if I super jumped and hit heavy kick and then hit down, I would actually trigger a momentum shift. That is not the case in MvCI. In order to kill the momentum of your super jump, you have to be free to perform an action. So in other words, if I launch and I heavy kick, and I actually want to do the super hop like this, I have to hit down before I hit kick. I can't hit kick and then down. So if I hit kick and then down, you can actually see that there is no change in my momentum. So I actually have to hit down and then kick. So that is very, very different from how Smash Brothers works. In Smash Brothers, the button and the momentum shift of your character are unrelated. They're untied to each other. You can control at any point in time. And yeah, again, sorry about the desync on the video. I'm just gonna kill my face right now, just so it's not as weird then, just so it's not as distracting. The game audio should be fine. It's just the video camera for some reason is desynced right now. I'll see if I can get that taken care of. So. But basically that's how it works. It's very different than Smash Brothers. You cannot actually change your momentum in the middle of a move. You have to be in, quote, neutral of your super jump in order to kill your super hop, or in order to do a dud jump, in order to do a super hop, basically. So that is very important to note. So if you're from Smash Brothers and you try to do a button and then change your momentum, it's not going to work. You have to change it and then do the button. So there you go. And remember, guys, in case you didn't tune in yesterday, #1 important thing to learn about Marvel from the beginning: learn to wave dash in both directions, and learn to be able to switch directions in wave dashing, like at command, basically. And you can see I keep whiffing buttons, so I am not doing a good job of it myself. So, but this is the first thing that you want to learn when you're actually playing MvCI. Ah, you know what, Nutacon? You are a genius. You are a genius. Alright, so today's lesson is probably the most important, is probably the second most important thing after wave dashing, but it is going to be the most important, game mechanic of MvCI, and that is going to be the tag mechanic. We're going to find out everything we can about the tag mechanic, basically, because this is the crux of the game. And basically, to perform a tag, pretty simple, just hit the tag button, pow, and the tag character jumps in. Now you'll notice that when I tag the character, there's actually a hit. If I touch no controllers, if I do nothing with the controller afterwards, there's a hit. But you can see that there is a limit to how far that they dash forward. So they stop, like this. But if I'm next to the opponent and I tag, boom, there's a hit on the opponent character, boom. So let's study this hit just a little bit here. It looks like you kind of want to consider this hit as the lowest attack in the Magic Series totem pole. Because basically, after it hits, you come in basically like a dash. And just like a dash attack, like if you notice, remember when I was using Spider-Man, if I just mashed on Light Punch, I can only get 3. But if I dash an attack, I can get 5. Because I maintain my momentum, right? Well, if you noticed, after the tag attack, there's a lot of momentum as well. So you want to kind of consider the dash attack as a momentum button, as you know, as basically canceling out of the dash. So it's basically the same thing. You can come in there and start attacking. Now, that's only if I let the dash attack hit. I can actually maintain some momentum. But what you start to discover after a while is that I can prevent the tag from hitting by, for example, holding a different direction on the controller. But let's find out how much. Let's see how much. What all the directions do. So if I tag in and hold forward on the controller, if you notice, holding forward on the controller actually does cancel the tag, the dash attack. So I would have thought holding forward would not have done anything, but holding forward actually cancels it. So basically, once you start doing the tag, if I hold any direction, it immediately cancels the tag attack into whatever that joystick direction would do. If I hold offensive crouch, I immediately cancel, but there is a little momentum afterwards, you can see. So it's still like a dash, but it's like I'm canceling the dash. See, so now I can get 5 hits in there. So in other words, if there is a target combo that I cannot do based without dashing, I will be able to do it off of these tag cancels. And you can see I can completely if I hold forward on the controller. Oh, look at that. If I hold... Okay, so there is a window that I can tag cancel, maintain the momentum, and not get the hit on it. So you notice if I hold forward on the controller and I hit the buttons early enough, I can skip the actual tag attack and... Whoops, wrong direction. I can skip the tag attack and still maintain the momentum if I hold forward on the controller. But you can see the window is very small. If I wait too long, I won't actually do the tag. If I wait too long, I'll lose all my momentum. But if I notice, I don't have to hold forward on the controller. There's just a window that I can just start hitting the button before the tag attack occurs. So it has nothing to do with holding forward on the controller. If I leave the joystick at neutral, I can still attack and then maintain the dash momentum without the dash attack, like that. Now, what I have heard is that this dash attack, basically, frame data wise, is basically the fastest thing in the game. So like the frame data wise, this hits so fast. Because if you notice, watch this, let me hit someone and then do a tag. Did you notice that Iron Man never changed his reel? In fact, let me launch him and tag. You'll notice that Iron Man never moved up during that entire sequence after launching him. He's frozen until I come and attack. And oh, interestingly enough, that dash tag is a knockdown. So I can get a juggle off of that. That's really interesting. Poof. And look at that. The dash attack is actually considered a knockdown when you hit someone out of the air. But look how fast that dash attack is. Like, after I launch him and then I call the assist like this, the character basically barely ever moves while Spider-Man is running in. Iron Man only finally starts moving when the character actually reaches Captain America. And that is going to be something that's very important to understand as well, and I'll get into that in just a little bit. Someone says you get a wall bounce off of that? Let me see. Oh my god, there's a wall bounce on it too. Okay, so if I sweep in the tag, poof, I get a wall bounce as well. So middle of the screen, it's just kind of like a push like that. But if they are next to the wall, and then I tag, boom, wall bounce. So I get a wall bounce. Which might not necessarily be a good thing, because that means you are using up your wall bounce. What does Spider-Man have that is a wall bounce? Do I have any of these characters that have a wall bounce move? What about the heavy one? Ah, the heavy one is a wall bounce. Okay, so in other words, if I did sweep into tag, oops, too fast. If I did sweep into tag, I do lose my wall bounce. So you actually do use up your wall bounce here. So that's important to note. You see that I didn't get the wall bounce there, which is a problem. Whereas, if I was a little bit away from... Ah! I screwed up my wave dash. Okay, so if I was just a little bit away from the wall, and I did, for example, sweep into tags, oh god, okay, I actually need to go further than that. So basically, I need to be a lot like here. So if I sweep into tag, It totally missed. Thanks, Captain America. Thanks a lot. Okay, so if I sweep into tag, then I get to retain my wall bounce. Yeah, you see that there is a different reaction. So it does use up your wall bounce. So careful with that. And that wall bounce is obviously used up by the character running in and doing the attack. Because every character gets to maintain their wall bounce. So in other words, if I did, for example, like the opposite, if I did something like sweep into tag here and used up the wall bounce, and was able to knock him down and tag back into Spider-Man and then do the Spidey kick, he would be able to keep his wall bounce. So keep that in mind. But it does use up the wall bounce. It does use up the wall bounce. If you use the wall bounce first and then tag, great question. Oh, you'll still get the wall bounce because now it's Captain America's wall bounce. So now Captain America gets the wall bounce. But if I could keep the combo going long enough with Captain America to tag back into Spider-Man, he might not get the wall bounce anymore. So let's see if I can actually do that here. Oh no, but I used up the, did I use up the ground bounce? Oh, I used up my, oh dang, hang on a second. Oh, it uses up the wall bounce and the ground bounce. Did you see that? Did you see that? So, wall bounce, ground bounce. So if you don't hit them before they actually land, you're gonna lose your ground bounce too. But it wasn't Spider-Man's ground bounce. Whoa, okay. It's actually Captain America's ground bounce that gets used up. So in other words, oh, that's confusing. Even though it's Spider-Man's attack that causes the wall bounce. Okay, now I need to experiment with some stuff here. Okay. Sorry, XLTV. I'll explain it in just a little bit. Okay, how am I gonna, I need to test it this way. Okay. Oh wait, no, that's right. No, it makes sense. Okay, it makes sense. Yeah, okay, never mind. I'm confused for no reason. I don't know why. I'm like completely confused right now. Okay, because I use up Spidey's wall bounce, and then Captain's wall bounce, and then his ground bounce. That's what's happening. So, Spidey wall bounce, Captain wall bounce, Captain ground bounce is what I'm getting. So I'm using up all three of those all at once right away. But I can do Spidey wall bounce, Captain wall bounce, and then preserve the ground bounce, like so, right? Okay. Got it. I am okay. Here we go. Okay, don't use crouching. Okay, that's actually kind of interesting. Hang on. It's just I was hitting it too late. Got it. Okay. But I'll do standing light kick anyway. Well, maybe I shouldn't. Maybe I'll use... actually, I'm just timing that badly. I'm just doing a bad air combo. I need to do a better air combo. Yep, no more wall bounce. There you go. So Spider-Man had used his wall bounce already with the spider kick. So I did spider kick, boom, Spider-Man uses his wall bounce, right? Spider uses wall bounce. Captain America uses his wall bounce. Captain America uses his ground bounce. So that's all happened right there. So Spider-Man will go boom, tag, boom, pow, And then Spider-Man can't use his wall bounce, but you'll notice that he still had his ground bounce because Iron Man bounced on the floor at the very end of that. So I should be able to get a relaunch after that. So let's do that again. So wall bounce usage, wall bounce. Ground bounce usage. Oops. Oh, shout outs to Philomath for the subscription. Much appreciated, good sir. So here we go. Thank you, Philomath. Very, 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 very much. Here we go. Wall bounce, wall bounce. Oops. Wall bounce, wall bounce. Ground bounce. Yep, there we go. Perfect. Now I've lost my ground bounce. So there you go. However, I may be able to preserve that ground bounce if I don't let him touch the floor. So I can do wall bounce, wall bounce. There you go. There you go. So I did not let Iron Man touch the ground, so I preserved my ground bounce. So after the air combo, I could go up for another relaunch. So you can have, it's still a total of 2 wall bounces, 2 ground bounces per character, basically. So I will count them for you right now. We got wall bounce, wall bounce. Okay, so I've used up both wall bounces for the character. Okay, so it's wall bounce, ground bounce. Let me do something really quick here. Alright, here we go. So, wall bounce, wall bounce. Oops. Wall, oh, see, I have not used the wall bounce. That was just a knockdown. You saw there was no wall bounce animation. Spider-Man just hit Iron Man, then Iron Man hit the ground for a ground bounce. So if I let that actually happen, I wouldn't be able to get a relaunch because Spider-Man uses up his ground bounce. But instead, I'm going to hit him before he lands. I'm going to hit him before he lands so there's no actual ground bounce. And then he still gets a ground bounce. And now there's no ground bounce. So there you go. That whole combo right there for 5,000 damage with nothing but normal, with no special moves or supers, was all completely done with all of my walls and ground bounces. So yes, each character gets their own ground bounce. Each character gets their own wall bounce. And the important thing to note about the tag is that it will use up both of them if you do not hit them fast enough. And that is bad. So you do not want, if you do a sweep in the tag combo and you let them ground bounce and then you juggle them. So if I do this, that's not good because I just used up my ground bounce. Watch. I'll show you exactly what I mean. If I do this, no more juggle afterwards. No more relaunch in that situation. But if I hit him before he touches the floor, I get my ground bounce and I get my rejuggle. So there you go. Very, very important to understand now that off of this, you will use up your wall bounce and your ground bounce. And if you can hit them before any of that happens, so even if I do something like this, oh shoot, he still touched the wall. So I used up my ground bounce. But if I did this, for example, I haven't used up my wall bounce yet. So now I will be able to still use my wall bounce in that situation. So you can preserve it if you're far enough away from the wall. But if you're close enough to the wall, actually, if you're close enough to the wall, you would just abort your tag attack, actually. So in other words, I could do this. Whoops. I could actually do this and hold down and don't let it hit. And just raw launch like that. And if I do that, I actually preserve Captain America's wall bounce that way. So in other words, I should be able to do something. Oh man, I don't know if I'm going to be able to find a combo where I can actually do this, but let's see. Now I still got my wall bounce. You see? I preserved my wall bounce by not letting the tag attack come in and hit the opponent. So I got the tag attack the second time. Then I got a wall bounce there, which means I don't have to worry about hit stun deterioration. I could just cancel that raw tag into, for example, Final Justice, because I get I'm not the Final Justice, but the Stars and Stripes, the uppercut super. So in other words, I did... Oops. Oops. I missed! Oh, because I held down. I held down, stupid me. Okay. I don't want to do that. Oops, I used up my ground bounce. Shit, I used up my ground bounce by accident. Oops, I used up my wall splat. Okay, so I can do I used up my ground bounce. I used up my ground bounce. Ah, that combo wasn't long enough. I couldn't tag back into Captain America. Oh no, I need to get the wall bounce. I need to get the wall bounce. Dang it. Oh, I used up my ground bounce. Dang it, I can't get high enough to get... I want to extend my combo long enough, but I keep messing up. Oh no, I held back. I used up my wall bounce. I used up my ground bounce, dang it. The timing on that is so hard. Why? There you go. So basically, because I preserved the wall bounce, the hit stun scaling couldn't affect it. So I preserved my wall bounce off of that, and so I was able to connect the the super raw like that. So there you go. There you go. So yeah. So basically, just note that the tag attack causes a wall bounce and a ground bounce if you happen to be close enough. So if you do something like this and the tag attack hits, you will use up your ground bounce there. So that's not good. You actually want to catch them before they bounce. That way you can still get the relaunch right there, which I just totally didn't do. So like so, right? I got the relaunch on that, but if I let the guy touch the ground, I use up my ground bounce, and then my air combo ends. So very important thing to learn about the tag attack is that it causes a ground bounce and a wall bounce, and it can use that up, and you probably don't want to have that happen. So there you go. Okay, so that's the tag attack right there, but like I said, you can cancel the tag attack by holding any direction on the controller, and it'll just basically cancel into whatever neutral action that you would normally have, except all the crouching moves basically count more as a dash cancel, so you do maintain your momentum. So think of canceling the dash as if you are dash attack in the tag attack as you are canceling out of a dash. except you can actually cancel out of a dash attack by holding back or forward on the controller, blah, 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 blah. Now, here's another thing too. I have heard people talk about this on Twitter. I've even talked to people in person about this. People have talked about how you can cancel your dash attack, right? So in other words, like I want to gain control of my character right away. So I tag in and hold back, and look at that. Like I can actually gain control of Spider-Man right away as soon as he comes into the screen. The thing about it is it's true but not true at the same time, because what's actually true is that the assist, your partner character, has to reach your point character before you can stop them. So I can't stop Captain America at the other side of the screen. I can only stop Captain America right when he gets to Spider-Man. So as long as I hold back, yes, I can stop him from doing anything, but he has to run all the way up. But then also I want people to note that I'm pretty sure okay, I want you guys to pay attention to something. Look how long it takes for Spider-Man to reach Captain America. Just watch it. As soon as I hit tag and you hear the ching noise, watch to see when Spider-Man approaches Captain America. Now, so he basically says Spider-Man, and right when he says man, Spider-Man shows up. Right? He says, basically Spider-Man shows up when he says man. Okay? Now notice something. If I come over here and do it and hit the tag button, look how fast Spider-Man appears in the screen. Did you notice that he was in there even before Captain America started saying anything? Spider-Man was running on the screen even before Captain America started saying Spider. And in fact, he got to Captain America right when Captain America said man. You see that? So regardless of the distance away from the back edge of the screen you are, the amount of time it takes for your partner to get to you is the same. So even if I'm over here and I call my assist, he's actually starting a full screen away off screen and runs up to me. The flash timing, the transition timing is the same no matter how far away you are from the screen. Your character is going to reach you in the exact same amount of time, no matter what. So I just want people to keep that in mind. The tag is not faster just because I'm closer to the wall than when I'm over here. It's going to be the same amount of time every single time. So even though if I'm back over here and I cancel Captain America right away, it's no difference than actually canceling him after he runs up and reaches the opponent. It's the exact same time every single time. So that's something nice to know about the tag mechanic. That's something now to understand. So someone asked in the chat why sometimes the character comes from the right corner even when you are closer to the left corner. Haha. I will get to that. I will definitely get. Oh my God, you are. Look at you doing this thing here. Oh, you are in prime belly rub position. You are in prime belly rub position right now. Oh. Oh. Spoiled damn cat, dude. Why are you interrupting my streams? Why are you interrupting my streams? Why are you interrupting my streams, Nathan? Nathan, you are too cute. I have to give you belly rubs. I have to give you neck rubs and chin rubs and armpit scratches and... Oh, you are such a cat. You are the most cat. Characters should not be invincible. The characters... Well, let's test this really quick. What I'll do is I'll record Iron Man to do Unibeam, like so. And once I play that back, you tag... Oops. Okay. Stop, Iron Man, stop! Okay, so I'll do this. So it looks like I can come in and block, like no matter what. How am I gonna get this as meaty as possible? I need to figure out a way to get this as meaty as possible, but that's... Oh, I would be able to do it by super jumping and tag. Okay, okay, I got it.
Target acquired. It's the big one. Proton cannon.
So let's see what happens if I super jump.
Target acquired. It's the big one. Proton cannon.
No! So there is definitely a vulnerable period on the tag. So I cannot block the first frame that I come in.
Target acquired. It's the big one. Proton cannon.
You cannot block right away. I'm holding back, and you are going to get bodied. You are going to get bodied by any super coming in there. Now, Zoljinx, because I'm lazy, and I will get a Nathan emote. I already know what I want to do with it. I just haven't done it yet. Okay, so with the counter switch is the same thing. Yes, you cannot do anything off of that, I believe. Why couldn't I counter switch in? Can you not counter tag during a super? Wow, it's way too late. Alright, I'm gonna have to do it like up closer, basically. Dude, it takes so long. Hang on, let me test something real quick. I'm gonna have to do a longer combo with Iron Man, so I'm gonna have to do... Whoops. That's not a combo. Let's do... Don't they have like a move that pops them up or anything like that? The sweep does. Can I do... No, it's still too slow. I could probably do... what I could do is... Yeah, that'll work. Okay. Okay, so let's do that now, and let's do this. I did block, but it's not meaty enough. Let me do a more meaty combo here. So, Alright, so now we'll be able to test this for sure. Let's see. Okay, what I've learned is that you cannot counter tag during a super. You cannot counter tag during a super. That's good to know. I'll talk about that when we get into the counter tag section. Alright, so let's do this then. Oh wait, the heavy one is the wall bounce. Can I actually combo that? That's right. Okay, so what I need to do then is... Yes, okay, that's what I want to do, okay. Oh dang, Iron Man is stuck for a while off of that. Alright, I'm just gonna have to do that then. And just hope I can time it right, because the counter tagging is a little bit slow. So let's do this again. Oh, but I just stopped because Spider-Man had reached me already. So I wasn't even I wasn't even in range to get hit by the repulsor array. So let's do it over here. Okay, I did that too late. I can block right away on counter switch, it looks like. See, Spider-Man was able to block there. Dude, I keep doing that too late. Dude, leave Captain America alone! Damn it! Let Captain America go! Let my captain go. Yeah, it looks like I can block right away off of the cat. Stop hitting! Spider-Man! Leave Spider-Man alone! Yeah, I can definitely block as a meaty. So on counter switch you can block as a meaty. On a counter switch you can block as a meaty, but on a regular tag there is delay. So that's important to know. So the things that we've discovered about the tag right now is that the amount of time that it takes for your partner to get to you is the same no matter where you are on the screen. So the black freeze of the screen is going to be the same length every time. You'll never need to adjust your timing on when the opponent comes in to hit based off of your position on the screen. Second thing we learned is that the tag attack can be canceled on the way in, but it uses up your wall bounce and your ground bounce if you do not hit the opponent fast enough. But again, you can cancel out of the tag attack just by holding back. And then, of course, obviously, you can keep the momentum by holding down for a little bit. So you can get sliding jabs like so. And then the last thing to learn about tags is that when you come in, you are actually vulnerable for a few frames. You are actually going to get bodied. So there you go. Okay, so that's what we've learned about tags for now. But the other important things to learn about tags is I can do it in the middle of the ground. I can do it in a jump. I can do it in a super jump. I can do it in a dump. I can do it on a trump. I can do it on... Anyways. So basically, what about normal moves? I can do it in the middle of a normal move. I can do it in the middle of a special move. I can do it in the middle of a super. Yep, anytime. I can do it in the middle of a super like that. I can do it off of a spike attack. So basically, there doesn't seem to be very much restrictions. However, there is one restriction, and that is cinematic supers such as a level 3. No tagging at all allowed. Now I can tag afterwards, after the camera resets. Same thing with... I can tag before that hits, but after it hits, I can't do anything. So it's not just, it's not related to a level 3 or a level 1 or whatever like that, because Spider-Man also has this one which causes cinematic camera work, and then you can't actually tag during that. So Spider-Man has 3 supers that you cannot tag in the middle of. The only one you can tag in the middle of is this one, which has regular camera angle. And I can just knock him right out of the super. So basically you can tag at any point in time, it seems like, except for when the opponent is in a cinematic super. So there you go. Can I do it in a throw? That is something we'd like to know. So with that test, here I go. You cannot, because throws are cinematic. Throws count as something cinematic because the camera twists around like this. So I cannot tag in a throw. There you go. You can't tag during Spider-Man's web throw as well. Yes, that is correct. So there are some moves that just trigger a sort of like canned animation that you cannot tag during. So that's an experiment. That's something that you're just going to have to experiment through and figure out on your own on what you can tag and what you cannot. So there you go. Everybody blinks. No, it should be everybody jumps. That's what it is. That's the Street Fighter V book right there. So that's good to know. So we can tag in all these situations. Now, let's also think about this here, because moves have startup, right? So a web throw has start, or even the regular throw has startup. The super has startup. Can I tag during these startups? So in other words, if I do this, so I could not do it. I cannot actually tag during that startup, which is very interesting, which is actually backwards, which I would have thought, right? But if I did my level 3, can I tag at the beginning of this? I can. So it takes a while for Spider-Man to reach with the kick. so I can tag there, but for some reason off of the wall one, I cannot tag, which is really interesting.
I don't think you get it.
So it's going to be on a case-to-case basis, and this is something that you're just going to have to learn as you play the game with your characters. You have to figure out which moves are going to be cancelable into a tag or not. Now, someone in the chat just mentioned gotta plink it. Yes, that is correct. You can tag. And in fact, on a lot of these moves, you can actually hit the button at the same time. So for example, Spider-Man's wall move like this is quarter circle back and 2 kicks. If I hit quarter circle back, 2 kicks, and the assist button all on the same time, like so, guess what? I can do the tag. Now Captain America is just chilling here waiting to OTG. Oh, there's a ground bounce there. Interesting. So I can actually... Whoops. Oh, he falls fast. Oh, cat, stop fighting. Whoops.
My spider senses tingle. Now's my chance. This webbing's custom made. 10,000 strength formula.
Dang it, he was facing the wrong way. Okay, so I can't move him while he's there. I was trying to walk around and see what happens, but it didn't work. Now, I can super before Spider-Man hits him, yes, but that's not what I'm trying to test right now. So can I get an OTG at all? Can I get an OTG at all? I was actually right next to him that time. What the hell? Oh, because he's always going to fall in the middle of the screen. That's right. So if I stand right here, it'll be perfect. Oh, nope. Captain America went too far forward, but I should be close enough. Oh, they're just invincible. It just uses a ground bounce, but it's invincible, I think. Let's see if I can actually do the other thing. Yeah, did you see that? It just went right through him. I went too far, okay.
My spider senses tingle.
Dang it! So fast. Oh, it did hit. It did hit. So there is a vulnerable place in there, but it's just very, very short. Let me do his level 3 instead here.
Let's go. My spider senses tingle. Stay down.
There you go.
Unyielding. Justice. I won't surrender.
So there you go. There is a little bit of vulnerable period, but it's very, very short. It's very, 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 very short. So there you go. So it does work. But yes, you can plink things. You can even do that off of a throw. So if I do throw then tag, I could actually get something potentially after that. So I have to, but you always have to hit tag second. If you plink tag then throw, it's not going to work because tag immediately kills the usage of your opponent, your character. But yeah, so if I plink throw then tag, I can actually get the throw. Whoops. But the timing of it is very specific. And can I not juggle afterwards? Oh, there you go. I can get the juggle. I can get the juggle. There you go. So throws are definitely, according to Shady K's test, throws are definitely at least like around 3 frames or something like that. They're either 2 or 3 frames because you can see when I do the tag, it looks like Spider-Man is doing a normal, and then all of a sudden he goes into the throw animation. So there's definitely... But again, kind of similar to that, kind of similar, at least for Spider-Man. Well, let's try Captain America. Let's see what Captain America's throw looks like. He has the same throw, damn it. Okay, that should get me good results right there.
Spider-Man. Fight. Spider-Man. Fight. Spider-Man. Fight. Spider-Man. Fight. Fight. Fight.
You can see that the timing is a little tricky, and of course I'm not letting Spider-Man refresh. So that's why I'm not getting the tag sometimes. The timing is actually pretty tricky. There's a too early that if you do it too early, you don't get the throw, he just attacks, but if you do it too late, you don't get the tag. So it's a little bit tricky here. God, it's really hard for me to judge where I am afterwards. Oh, I hit him off the ground with the launch. Okay. Regardless, it's very obvious that yes, you can actually combo after a throw if you know what you're doing, which I don't basically just yet. So it's very tricky. The timing is very tricky. So there you go. So yes, you can get stuff after the throw like that if you plink the timing. And same goes with a lot of the special moves that are level 3s and stuff like that. Like I said, if you hit the buttons and the tag at the same time like that, you'll get stuff like this going. Oh, that wasn't the level 3. So if I did something like this, you know, then Spider-Man will be free to take advantage of whatever post-animation this has. Dude, why is Captain America a full screen away, stupid Captain America? Okay, well, that's actually important to note. The character comes in basically kind of where they were, and the supers rearrange where you are on the screen, and I think Captain America goes with it. So let's study this a little bit. If I do it from over here, for example... Where is Captain America after this? Yes, I'm still here. Whoa! But you'll notice I'm not in the corner anymore, right? You notice that I got zoomed all the way into the middle of the screen because a lot of these supers will reposition you in the stage. And that's also something that's kind of important to note as well. So even if I do get the launch off of this, Captain America is nowhere near the corner, so don't go for a corner combo. But dude, he's invincible on the way down. Really? They won't let me juggle off of this level 3? This is how you're gonna play? This is how you're playing, Capcom? Can I OTG? I cannot OTG. So they're just invincible after that Spider-Man level 3. That makes me very sad.
Stay down. Hit it. Unyielding. Justice. I won't surrender.
Dude, yeah, see, look at that. I couldn't even hit him. So some level 3s just actually render render the opponent completely invincible, and there's nothing you can do about it. So there you go. But so far what we've discovered is that you can tag pretty much do anything, and you can tag through a throw and through a cinematic move like the web throw, as long as you tag before the web actually hits like this, and then I'd be able to take advantage of it, right? So I could do let's see. Yeah, so I could do yep, and then I can get the launch that way. Damn stupid down motions. You see that? Captain America dashed both ways because of Spider-Man swinging Iron Man around. Okay, there we go. Damn it. Damn it. There you go. Okay, so there. I proved you can combo after that. Okay. Okay. Oh, that spinning state represents the move limit. Okay. That makes sense. Let's see here. What else do I get? Okay, and now let's talk a little bit of more detail about the tag on the direction where the character is coming from. Because someone asked me that question. Like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to super jump over my opponent and tag, and you see Captain America comes from the right. I'm going to replicate this exact same thing here, but now Captain America came from the left. I'm going to do the same thing again, and Captain America comes from the right. I'm going to do the exact same thing again, and Captain America comes from the left. So what's going on here exactly? What is going on here? Well, to demonstrate this, I'm going to use Ghost Rider a little bit, because Ghost Rider is really easy to demonstrate this with, and why this is actually happening. Because I know exactly why this is happening, and I suspect a lot of people in the chat actually know why this is happening as well. But I'm going to keep everybody in suspense, because we are clickbait videos. Mwah! Alright, the answer is that the direction that your character comes in from is completely based on one thing, and that is which direction your point character who called the assist button is facing. That's all it is which direction he's looking. So if I super jump, let's say I do that, and you see him turn around, Spider-Man's going to come from that side. You see, he turned around, so Spider-Man comes from, they always come from your back. So as soon as Ghost Rider turns around, he tagged in. But now, here's the thing. Here's the interesting thing, right? So, in other words, if I super jump and tag here, yeah, I'm going to come in from the front. Okay, that's pretty obvious here. But guess what? I can kind of futz with this a little bit. And you see that Spider-Man still came from the other side, even though I'm way past Iron Man? Look at that. Even though I'm way past Iron Man, I still had Spider-Man coming from the other side. Like so. And that's because I'm doing a move in the air. If I don't do a move in the air, I turn around. If I do a move in the air, he stays facing in that same direction the entire time. Right? So you can actually be in the exact same position and have him come from the other side like that. So in other words, I can just super jump like this. I can super hop over Iron Man and call a tag, and then sure enough, Spider-Man comes from that side like so. But if I just do a move in the air before I get to the other side, he will come back from the original side. Let me show you another example of this that I think is kind of cheap and interesting, but I like it. I'm gonna make the computer roll forward, okay? Like so. So let's say I'm Ghost Rider and I want to do a meaty attack like this on him, right? I want to lock him down with the meaty. Oops, I OTG'd him by accident. I want to meaty him, but I can't meaty him because he rolls away. Well, guess what? The entire time that Ghost Rider is stuck here doing Hellfire, guess what he's doing? He's facing one... Oh, there's no more delay. He's facing one particular direction. He's facing towards the corner. So now, ladies and gentlemen, students of the class, what direction do you think Spider-Man is going to come in from? He comes in from the side. And you notice he won't attack until the time it takes for him to reach Ghost Rider. He was actually pushing Iron Man for just a little bit. Boom. So if your opponent is not expecting it, he's going to be hit on the original blocking side. So let's say he holds down back after he rolls past Ghost Rider. He's going to get hit by Spider-Man because he's holding the wrong direction. So there is definitely some funkiness going on here. So it's all just dependent on which direction your character is facing. So like I said, you can actually start doing some really screwy things with people now thanks to that, right? So if I do, for example, want to, you know, fuck with people, I can actually super jump over them, tag, and if I keep repeating this tactic over and over again, super jump, tag, and then they're like, oh, okay, I'm getting used to this technique, then I super jump and hit a button, and then I come from the other side. I can create a 50-50 mix-up directly off of this on which side he's coming in. Of course, the opponent just has to see if you actually did a move or not. But you can see that there's a little bit of mix-up over there. So the tag is going to be really interesting, and I can't wait to see the kind of BS that people are going to come with on these kind of mix-ups here. See, like, it's going to be really hard to tell. And especially if I plink it right before I cross over, like right before I cross over, then it's really hard to tell. You see, if I can just learn that timing where just when I turn around and then hit a button slightly before that, I can really control which side the character comes in on. And so that actually makes it really confusing for people. So, woohoo! So just off of that silly mix-up, you just took 6,000 damage. Now, of course, the thing is, the reason why it's not super cheap in this game yet is because everybody is moving everywhere. You should be wave dashing around the screen all over the place. So you really shouldn't be locked down long enough to have something like a mix-up like this work on you. There's so many movement, there's so many different ways to move, there's stuff all over the screen. And there are also ways to stop the tag as well if you are on the ground. So for example, if I do this, as we saw earlier, there is one vulnerable frame for the opponent as they're coming in, right? Alright, so in other words, if he tags... Whoops, I hit the wrong button. If you can learn to time it right... You are supposed to be able to throw them, I believe. Do I actually have to start throwing them before they come in? Oh no, there it was, I got it. Oh, you don't even have to time it. If you just hit forward and a button, like halfway through the opponent's run, you actually just throw them. Yeah, look at that. So if you can learn this timing properly, it doesn't matter what side they come in from because you'll throw them no matter what. But the timing is very tricky. But it is a universal counter to this technique here. So if you can actually get used to this timing, you can punish the opponent for tagging and trying this mix-up like that. So, can I throw break? That is a really good question. Let's do that then. Yes, you can. Well, not that time.
Stay down.
Huh, interesting. Oh, I threw break. You can't throw break. The enemy can't throw break, but I can throw break. That's what happened. There you go. No, they cannot throw break. I will throw them first, and it actually looks like I can mash it. Oh yeah, look at that. I can actually mash pretty decently. No, because they're throwing me first. Okay. Yeah, but you can sort of mash it, and it feels a little safe. But what if I just let them tag attack without, and then try to mash it? What happens? Let me see. Alright, so in other words, if I did this. Okay, so mashing is not good because you can get hit. Mash only works if they're going to come in and throw you. So you still rather time it properly than mash it. It's going to take a little bit of practice to get good at that timing, but that's definitely something worth doing over there. So there you go. Yes, there will be an Ultra Chen tonight. But there you go. So that's when they come in that vulnerable frame, they are considered vulnerable, so they cannot actually tech the throw. So they will get thrown for sure. You're gonna have to learn to time that throw very accurately in order to punish that. But you know, guys like Champ and stuff, we're learning how to, you know, Magneto Fierce Strider's Vajra out of the air during a super jump. And if you can learn to do stuff like that, I'm sure you're gonna be able to learn how to do that properly. So. Okay, so that's what I want to talk about regular tags. So like I said, it's really determined on which way the character is facing, which way the character comes in. But that's not all that there is to know about tags. Also, remember, one of the key things is that all the limitations that exist on a character are limited each character has their own limitation for most of the cases. So for example, if I throw a reality gem, I can't throw another reality gem until that reality gem goes away, right? But both characters have a reality gem, so basically we can both reality stone like this. So that's one key thing to understand about that whole concept. And then also the timing of the cooldown here is pretty much as soon as the partner leaves the screen. Like that, right? Oh, but that's interesting. Does that mean... Ah, so that means the closer you are with the back to the screen, the faster you can tag. Interesting. So this is different than the character tagging in. The character tagging in will always take the same amount of time, no matter where you are on the screen. However, tagging out, you can re-tag faster if you are closer to the back edge of the screen than you would if you were over here at this part of the screen. You see that they actually have to like physically touch the edge of the screen before you can tag, which means that's why it's probably harder to find an air combo long enough to allow you to tag again after the air combo, because the opponent has to slide all the way out. So you can tag as soon as they leave the screen, and I just test holding the button. That doesn't work. There you go. So that's kind of interesting thing. That's kind of interesting like that. So, the other thing that I want to talk about with the tag mechanic, of course, is the counter tag, because the counter tag is going to be very, very important. Because I thought it was going to be just like maybe a 1 or 2 time kind of thing in a battle use, but from watching high level play, people are counter tagging constantly. So let's actually do this again. So, counter tagging is not instantaneous. If I keep mashing the counter tag button, I will not counter tag. It does not work that way. It works by holding the tag button. And it takes a few frames before it actually triggers. So you actually have to hold it for maybe half a second or something like that. Whoops. Before it comes out. And as we tested on the counter tag, yes, you can come in and block right away. So on counter tag, you are not vulnerable as soon as you enter the screen here. You can block right away. So that's an important distinction to have in that situation. Now the question is, can I counter tag and block stuff? Yes, I can. So even in block stun, I can counter tag. Which is interesting. So in other words, let's do this instead, shall we?
Target applied. Here's the big one. Proton cannon.
Alright, so now what I'm going to do
Target
is...
applied. Here's the big one. Proton cannon.
Oh, no, it doesn't look like I can.
Target
Oh,
applied.
because it's a super, that's right. You cannot counter tag in the middle of supers. So this is one thing that's the one limitation that I've discovered, is that you can do it if you are hit or blocking a... And I understand the logic for this, because then that means you would easily be able to find those holes in the super. Like, for example, Dante, if he's going... And then before that last shot, there's that hole in there, you would be able to counter tag in, come in, and then super him during that, and that would be really shitty. So they basically made it so that during supers, if you are in block stun or hit stun, you can't actually counter tag in that situation. So so I'm not going to be able to do that off of Iron Man Super, but I would be able to do that if I was air blocking something else. But during block stun, you can counter tag, and you can recognize it too, because the screen goes negative, right? The colors go negative. If you see here, the screen goes black, and then you see a little bit of universe behind them, and then there's this glow. But on counter switch,
Target applied. Here's the big one. Proton cannon.
here comes the boom. The screen goes negative, right? You see that, right? Yeah, see how the screen goes negative like that? So that's how you can tell the difference between a regular switch and a counter switch. Right now, it's really hard for me to see that. I just see a freeze, and so it's hard for me to tell which is which. So when I was watching at SCR this weekend, I was actually getting really confused. But learn to pay attention to that color in those situations, and then you'll be able to tell the difference, basically. Whoops. Here comes the boom. Now, what happens if I push block in that situation? Huh. Oh, can I actually save my friend from a combo? Interesting. I can save my opponent from the combo. You see that? I Iron Man away so that Ghost Rider actually escaped the combo. So there you go. That's actually kind of cool too. That's actually kind of cool. That thing's probably not a true block string, but regardless, I mean, it's enough to demonstrate, because if I hold the tag button, like, it's not going to automatically tag, so you can see that it still happens in the middle of, like there, right? So, there you go. Yeah, Justin did not play on his own. He played his own, so Justin basically said, I am not going to play because I feel a little dirty with it, you know, having had early access to the game, so he chose not to play himself, so. Oh, I was mashing the push block. Yeah, I was sort of mashing the push block. Yeah, I was mashing the push block, so there you go. But in any case, so the counter switching can occur during any time you are in block stun or in hit stun. So in other words, I can also just do... God, why do I keep doing that? I don't know, let's see if it is a true block string or not. Okay, only the last one's not a true block string. Yeah, only the last one's not a true block string, because I'm holding forward on the controller after blocking the first hit. So only the last one's not a true block string. So once I start, I'm just going to let go of the joystick now. So the last hit is the hit. Yeah, there you go. So basically... So I would probably be able to punish him with this if I just went like, and then, yeah, then I would hit him out of that, basically. So there you go. So yes, counter. So, but I mean, what's interesting about that is that you can block when you come in. So you are safe in a way. So you are safe when you come in. You can block right away, but if you try to do something and you get hit, yeah, you're gonna get bodied. So in other words, if I do this, for example, see, Spider-Man can come in and block, but then guess what? I'm just in a block situation and it kind of sucks. And then he's just going to pressure you as if you were just in a block string. He's going to tag into his friend, and then he's going to keep the pressure on you, etc., etc. So you really want to be able to figure out how to choose when you counter tag in properly. Like a very popular one I noticed that Justin was doing a lot was whenever the opponent actually launched him, like so, he would actually, he would counter tag here because the opponent isn't on the ground to hit him, right? So since the opponent isn't on the ground to hit him, now the opponent has to be scared of me super jumping up and ruining his air combo. He can't happy birthday us as easy. So that's kind of one of those situations where you would want to call the counter tag a lot of times. If you see a launch, go for it. And then you could go and try to punish him. If you mistime it, you get hit and shit starts to go down at that point in time. But the opponent has a harder time punishing you, right? But now, however, if the opponent is aware of that, they could also do something like... and call in Ryu, like so, right? And so if I go... then we have our own fight on the ground, because the character coming in always comes from the ground. So there's ways to counter the counter tag and stuff, and this is my favorite part of the game, when all four characters are on the screen and they're all fighting each other, and like this air combo is going up there while these guys are fighting over there. Oh, I love it. It's so cool. It's so cool to me that that actually happens. But there you go. So counter tagging is going to be very important, because I see people do it a lot. Way more than I thought I was going to see, because I was wondering how valuable meter was going to be. That it costs 2 meter to counter tag, in case I forgot to mention that. You have to have 2 bars to counter tag. If I do not have 2 bars, I cannot counter tag. So I cannot counter tag if I have 2 bars. I cannot counter tag if I am stuck in a space stone box. And I can't counter tag if I am in hit stun or block stun by a super. Okay? So you really have to be cognizant of when you want to counter tag. When you counter tag, unlike a regular tag, there is no vulnerability. You can block the instant you come in on the screen. Regular tag does have at least 1 or 2 or 3 frames of vulnerability. So that's important. But counter tag requires 2 bars, and it requires a lot of strategy to use and intelligence on when to use it. But yeah, a lot of the times it would be like, oops, shit. A lot of the times we would be watching those matches and it would be like, oh shit, oh okay, here comes this character, comes in here, and then oh my god, and then this character comes in and I'm like, who's tagging what where? I can't tell what's going on, and it was like super confusing, but like, that's what made the game cool. I've always been a personal kind of person that if like there's manicness going on the screen, like with multiple characters like that, I just get excited about that. The more crazy it is, the more excited I kind of get by it. I think it's super cool. I think it's super cool. So that you can't counter into a level 3. Cap the meter at 4, so you can't counter into a level 3. That's actually really, really smart. I never even thought about that logic, but that makes total sense. Kjebka. That actually makes a lot of sense, because counter tagging is going to use 2, and then you don't have enough for a level 3. But could you? Let's try this. Let's try this, shall we? Here comes the boom! Oh, God. Please. Can I do this?
Hero never gives up. My time, take a stand.
Yep, Sparrow, that's exactly what I was trying to do. There you go. There you go. So that definitely works. So you can actually blow somebody up with your Infinity Storm. But that's an expensive way to counter somebody. God, why do I keep hitting that button? So you can technically come in with a level 3, but it requires all of your gem resources and requires the level 3. So yeah, you're burning your whole storm. You don't have any storm anymore. If you only have it halfway built up, maybe it's kind of worth it, because then you can build it up again. But overall, it's an expensive way to stop somebody from doing something. But it is an option. It is definitely an option. So there you go. When a character gets Happy Birthday, he receives less damage, right? Technically, no. What actually is happening, however, there's going to be needed a lot of research done on this, and this would require me sitting down and doing a lot of math and just sitting there, and it's not going to be a fun stream, so I'm not going to be doing it on stream. Maybe I will. Maybe people just like watching me do stuff like that. But the reason why is that scaling is usually tied to the number of hits, but I heard in this game scaling is tied to the number of moves you've done. It's like Street Fighter. Like, this move is going to scale as one move altogether. So you basically, the more moves you do, the more scaling it does. Oh, so actually then it doesn't make a difference if you Happy Birthday. So the hit counter is not going to make any difference then. Might count as the... So this is something that a lot of people have been asking me. Vision Day is asking me what the neutral of the game is. If you want me to give my actual honest answer, I don't know. Because I'm terrible at Marvel games. But if you want me to give my I can teach but I can't play answer, the neutral of the game is really dependent. It's going to be so hard to figure. There's no one answer to that question. I talked about this a little bit yesterday. If your opponent is basically playing by unibeaming and then Hadoukening and then Reality Stone and then tagging in and Hadoukening like this, the neutral to your game is going to be super jumping and trying to get in from the air. If your opponent's way to attack is by rushing you down, then the neutral is going to be to try to push him away and stay at a distance and hit him over here. Neutral in this game is going to be so varied because everybody has so many options and there's so many different ways to be a jerk in this game. It's really going to be dependent on what your opponent is doing. So the initial thing is that you're going to have a tactic with your team. My tactic with my team is probably going to be starting with Ghost Rider, trying to land this. Like, my whole goal is to hit him with this, and then I can tag in. So even if they block that, I'm going to be able to get in and do a mix-up. So for example, if I do something like this and they block it, I can go for an instant overhead. If they get hit, I can go into a combo, etc., etc., etc. If that's going to be my initial game plan. So my game plan is going to be with that. If I am Spider-Man, I will probably do a mid super hop like this, and then air dash and attack in, or use my reality gem, and then so basically you can do with Spider-Man, you can super jump reality. Whoops, not that button. You can super jump in reality gem like so, and then actually what I wanted to do was I want to do reality gem, web ball, you know, and then what I could do is reality gem, web ball, tag in, and now see how I'm covering the angles? That gets my Ghost Rider in so that I can kind of fight a little bit, and then I'm going to try to lock him down with this so I can do my mix-up here. You know, basically have your game plan with your character. Find your game plan of getting in on the opponent. Now, while I'm doing that game plan, because I don't know my opponent, if he all of a sudden starts going rush down crazy and I'm having trouble getting in on him because he's just on me already, then I'm going to change my game plan, adjust to how my opponent is playing. That's the thing about fighting games. Fighting games are always been about that. The game plan is always adaptive. You always have to do what you want to do based on what the opponent is doing. If you're playing with your game plan, like if my answer was the way you play neutral is super jump and throw a reality gem, tag your opponent in there and find your way in and find a way to beat them, you are going to die. You are absolutely going to die because you are playing a one-player game. People heard me talk about this yesterday on stream. Playing a one-player game is your number one ticket to dying in a fighting game. There's a number one way to lose in a fighting game is playing a one-player game. If you're only paying attention to your character and going, I know I can get in by doing, I know I can get in by doing reality gem, tagging in here, coming in with an air dash like this, you are gonna die instantaneously. Like, you have to have your battle plan, but as soon as you find out what your opponent is doing, everything changes. Like, if you actually watched me play Street Fighter a long time ago, like 4 months ago when I used to stream myself playing Street Fighter, every time I was Cammy and I fought a Ryu, the first thing I would do is backdash. And I would see if the Ryu walked backwards and started throwing fireballs, or I would watch if the Ryu dashed up at me and like tried to attack. As soon as I figured out which Ryu it was, if he was an offensive Ryu or a defensive Ryu, I picked my according game plan right away. And my entire beginning neutral was dash back and see what he does. Build the distance from Ryu to tempt him to throw a fireball, and if he starts throwing a fireball from the screen away, I have an idea of what kind of Ryu player it is. If I backdash at the beginning of the round and the Ryu walks up and chases after me, I have an idea of what kind of Ryu player there is. So, yes, there is a name of my group. It is called the Chen Dynasty. Actually, I have the Chen Dynasty here. So, that's why whenever you see someone actually follow me, it says, welcome to the Chen Dynasty. So that is the answer of how you play the neutral in this game. The same way you play neutral in every fighting game. How we play neutral in this game, right? The same way we play neutral in every game. Adjust to the opponent. There you go. So that's the answer to that. That's the answer to that question right there. So that's the tag here. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I want to learn about the tag. Is there anything else I want to figure out about the tag or the counter tag? Nothing I can think of right away, but yeah, very important to know just in case you missed it earlier.
Target acquired. Here's the big one. Proton cannon.
You cannot counter tag during supers.
Target acquired. Here's the big one. Proton cannon.
You cannot counter tag during supers. I'm holding the tag. Oh, but you see right there, as soon as the super ended, I counter switched in with the guy lying on the ground. So I essentially wasted 2 bars. However, that means I can cover my opponent getting up off the ground if the opponent has. I can cover my teammate getting up off the ground if the opponent has a sick mix-ups, right? But then also, even if I'm blocking,
Target acquired. Here's the big one.
I can't counter tag even if I'm blocking the super. So there you go. Like that whole entire time I'm holding the tag button, nothing's gonna happen because it's that. But as soon as I get hit, sure enough, I can counter tag it. So there you go. That's how counter tagging works. You can only counter tag while you're getting hit or while you're blocking if it's not a super. So now the question is, what if it's a what if it's one of those animation moves, like if I web throw like this, right? Yep. Okay, so you know in those situations where you can't tag in your teammate, like in those crazy animations, so like if I went, I can't tag in my teammate there. Oops. I cannot tag in my teammate until the guy hits the ground like that, right? Those are the same situations. So I've already programmed the computer to try to counter tag. Oops, I just killed it. So basically if I did this, god damn it. So I've programmed my playback to be, you know, a counter switch like this, right? So you can see that, you know, as long as I'm doing that, I can counter tag. But as soon as I do that, he can't counter tag until the moment that I can tag. So watch this. If I do this and mash my own tag button, we can only tag in basically at the exact same time, basically, is what it is. So during those animation things like Spider-Man's web throw, my opponent cannot tag in until I can tag. So if you learn from the opponent character, if you learn from these characters when you can tag in your character or not, that's also when you can counter tag or not. So he's not going to be able to counter tag until he lands right there. So, like so. So there you go. That's kind of interesting to note. So, how do you train incoming mix-ups since there's no snapback on the game? I'm kind of lost on the optimized ways to test train incoming mix-ups. Yeah, it's a really good question, actually.
Danger. Fight. Danger.
So the problem with this is that when you hit them with your incoming mix-up, they die. I mean, the only other way that you could really do it is if you do, and then test it like that. Like, you could do that, but that's kind of annoying to do, but that is a way to do it. And there is a way to do that, so. Yeah, you can set the health a little bit higher so it's quicker to kill them, for sure. So, for example, I can just set health. That was totally backwards. So I'll just set it to 30%, for example. So that way, it'll just take me a little bit, like, I'll just find my maximum combo that I want to kill him with. And then the incoming character I can do some sort of crazy mix-up on, you know. you know, etc., etc. And then you can test your incoming mix-ups. Probably the best way to do that. But yes, they should let you set the health per character. There is definitely a lot of things missing from this training mode, and it does make me sad right now because Street Fighter V training mode was one of the best training modes there has been in a while, and in this game, it's just not there, basically. Why was I doing that? Why was I doing that the hard way when I was trying to do that combo when I could just go into jump H, jump heavy kick? I didn't know what I was doing that whole time yesterday. Jesus. Okay, I'm an idiot. I'm an idiot. Okay. Yeah, MvCI is missing so many quality of life things, including the debug menu here. I mean, can you get any more basic than that, like with the way the menu looks? Makes me sad. Down forward heavy kick? Yeah, this thing is... Oh, down forward heavy kick? No, he doesn't have a down forward heavy kick. I think you're talking about down forward heavy punch right there, if I'm not mistaken. In any case, yeah, Tekken, the training mode is kind of a little boo. But oh, you guys are talking about the nomenclature. Yes, highs are moves that go over people's heads. So this is a high attack. Mid attacks are overheads, so this is a mid attack here. That's a mid attack, and lows hit low. I don't know what they call moves that you can block both high and low. I don't know what they call that, which is why I really hate the way that they've actually decided to use the Tekken nomenclature. But it's like really, really confusing now. I hate it. I hate it. So. Can I play MvCI with my DDR pad? I've never tried, but that would actually be interesting. Low highs? Is that actually what they call them? If that's what they actually call them, that would actually make me mad. So, can you block? There is actually low mid attacks in Tekken. Let me think, is there anything else I want to do with the counters here? With the tags. Oh, yeah. Okay, I want to test another thing. Oh, yeah, no, I already tested this, that yes, you can tag on whiff. You can tag on whiff. I can tag on whiff special move. I can tag on a whiff super. But keep in mind, once you tag, you have lost all control of your opponent. I mean, of your teammate. You have lost complete control, so there's nothing you can do afterwards. So, for example, Ghost Rider has this move, and then he can follow up with this punch attack. If I actually tag in the middle of this, that punch attack will never happen because I have to manually hit the button to cause that punch attack to come out. So understand that when you tag, you lose 100% control over the other character, and there is nothing that you can do anymore. So even if you have a character like Iron Man, who has a Rekka series, like so, if I tag in the middle of that, I will not be able to do anymore. So there is no more. That's it. You are done. You cannot do anything. You lose instant control over that character. They're just going to finish whatever move they happen to be doing, regardless of how long that move takes, for example. Like, I'm just going to finish this whole entire thing. But that's all you get. That's all you get. So there you go. If you hold tag in Soulstorm. Oh yeah. Okay, that's another thing. Okay. That is true. That is very true, and I'll show you guys right now. Soul Stone. So if I activate the Soul Stone right now, if I hit jab with both characters. If I hold the tag button, all of a sudden I only control one character. So the other guy won't mess up, and then he can come in and heal. But that's it. So basically that's a nice little thing that you can have here. So there you go. Which is really, really cool. It's really, really cool. Ghost combo, light kick, heavy kick, quarter circle, heavy kick, down, down, light punch. God, you know, I don't even think I knew I had a down, down move. I don't think I actually even knew I had a down, down move. That's how you do it. Okay, okay. That's how you do it. So they actually still gave you this move. It's just a different command. Okay. Can I actually combo something after that? There seems to be something missing in that combo that you listed there. Yeah, there's definitely something missing in that combo there. Unless you mean like OTG and then do something like that. So I hate the down down motion. I actually really, really hate the down down motion. So Kitty, no, don't do that. My cat is attacking my cable right now, my joystick cable. Because it's swinging in the air right now, so the joystick is... Yeah, see, look at this. The cat's trying to attack my Cromba Decidian. Dang. No reaction from the cat when I hit the cat with the cable. She was just like, whatever. But I guess, you know what, it's Marvel. You kind of get used to being hit by cable a bunch, and you just don't get fazed by it anymore. Yeah, kitty. I just want you guys to look at the eyes of this cat, man. The cat has such beautiful eyes. Look at her eyes. It's one of the things that I fell in love with right when I met her was just how pretty her eyes were. Does anybody else do that a lot? Does anybody else do that whenever they see their cat yawn? Do you like to stick your finger in their mouth? Calvin and Hobbes actually had a comic where Hobbes started yawning, and Calvin grabbed his head and put his head inside the tiger head and went ta-da! And the punchline is just Hobbes going yeesh. And I feel like he did that just because everybody wants to do that when they see their cat yawn, dude. Every time I see my cat yawn, I like put my finger in their mouth so they bite on me. Okay, so it's just me. So I'm weird that way. Okay, never mind. Pretend I didn't say that at all. So yeah, Marvel.
My spider sense is tingling. With great power comes a great beat down. How's that for a web slinging?
Alright, so I think that's what I've got for tagging stuff. I don't know if there's anything else that I have about tagging. I'm trying to think. Counter tags cost 2 bars. You're going to do it certain times. Blah, 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 blah. You can get happy birthday very easily. You can tag regular anywhere you are. Just certain moves prevent you. Yeah, I think I got everything. So your friend's mouth when he yawns. That's a little weird. That's a little weird. I think I'm actually legit turning red right now. Arcade sticks. Honestly, the razors are good. This is the Cromba Obsidian. The dragon will last you forever, but the Obsidian and the dragon are both $200, so it's very expensive. There are some cheaper ones on the market. It just really depends on what you want to do. It depends on how, like what your budget is, etc., like that. So, yeah, the Razer Panthera is really good. I believe there's a Dragon for the PlayStation, isn't it? Is Dragon only for the... Oh, the Dragon is 300. I thought you said for the 360. That's not even a 360. Yeah, you really got to plunk down for now. There have been deals. Keep an eye on deals and stuff like that. And I haven't seen yet. So Mad Catz used to have a sale at every event. Like you would use an SCR code and then you would get a discount on it. And then you would go to Final Round and there'd be a discount there. I haven't seen like Razer and those companies do something like that yet. But keep an eye on tournaments like that because oftentimes you will see discounts such as that. Oh, Kwamba does it, huh? Okay. So you'll actually see Kwamba with some discount codes during tournaments and stuff like that. So keep an eye during tournaments, actually. Keep an eye on tournaments. Watch a tournament and check out the ad slides that come on during the breaks and everything like that, and you'll see discount codes, and that's probably the best time to take advantage of it. Also, that deal sold out on the Newegg real fast. But also, guys, just as a note, I know my MooBot is shilling constantly, but if you want to join the Chen Dynasty Discord, I do have a Discord, and people can go over there and talk and discuss. And if you guys want to find people to play online with, you know, you might find someone there who lives close to you, so you guys have some good matches, good internet connection, etc., etc. And there's also just a lot of good conversations there. I haven't posted there myself personally in a while, but that's because I've been traveling a lot and I just haven't had enough time, but I always try to jump in there. I am reading a lot of the comments that are in there a lot of the times, and I will respond as much as I possibly can. So there you go. No, my internet seems to be fine right now. Are you guys getting drop frames? Oh yeah, I am. Oh, I'm getting a lot of drop frames all of a sudden, guys. I apologize about that. Ooh, the drop frames are mounting. Why do you want me to record David entering the house for the stream? That just seems kind of really strange. Yeah, you will get banned for being only a very big idiot. So sorry, guys. I don't know why the frames are dropping right now. So it's starting to build up right now. Well, I mean, to be honest with you, we only have an hour left until the Tuesday show. So I'll probably call it for a night tonight. I'll probably start going over the gems a little bit more tomorrow. Actually, there's really not much to go over the gems because I don't want to go over the individual gems. I just want to know like when you can call gems, you know? Like, can I actually whip a button? Yeah, I can whip a button into a gem. What the hell? Can I combo after a soul stone? I could have swore there was a way to combo after a soul stone. Isn't there a way to combo after that? Dude, that's the worst. You gotta watch out for cats actually eating things all the time like that. Ugh. Thanks, Alucard. I appreciate catching the frames in the bucket. Yeah, definitely with a tag, but I kind of remember seeing that Viscant actually had a Soulstone loop. I can't remember what he did. I can't remember what he did. Viscant actually had like a Gamora Soulstone loop. Was he tagging characters? The Soulstone Storm Tech, the negative edge one? I'm not sure what you... no, I'm not aware of that one, unless you're talking about the control only one character tech. Oh, maybe it was a juggle? Maybe. I can't get it to work. Oh, Gamora had the clone super. That's what it was. Yeah, that's what it was. Okay. Okay. You almost can certainly definitely do it awful. If you can find ground combos long enough to be like, that'd be sick if that worked. Let me think if I could probably do it actually. Oh, that didn't combo. Okay, okay, where did it drop? Where did it drop? Okay, so I need to do kick. I need to do kick. Oh, no, that still dropped. Wow. There's definitely a way to do that. There's definitely a way to do that. Hold tag button in Storm, then you press and hold in tag button, then release tag. Oh, really? Say your prayers. Oh, whoa. Holy crap. That's actually crazy. Dude, if people can start getting good at that, good luck. Then you should be playing Guilty Gear and playing some Zato 1, dude. Let me tell you that. Holy crap. Well, there it was. I think I just got it. The combo dropped in the middle of there again. Yeah, okay, so yeah, you could definitely do it. You could definitely tag back and forth and figure out a way to get a little bit of health back, basically. Actually, I should do it later. Yeah, I should do it later. Because that way he'll recover faster and leave. Oops. Actually, let me turn him on auto guard too, just so I know exactly when he's able to block. Oh, that's not even a combo. Oh, that is a combo. Okay, so you can definitely do some crazy stuff here if you really feel like building life instead of doing damage. Oops. Yeah, you'll be able to soulstone all over the place, basically. So yeah, you'll be able to soulstone all over the place, and you'll be able to gain some health back. So there's definitely some ideas there to do stuff like that. So does life steal scale? That's a great question, actually. So I'm gonna do 30% here. Please. It's cool as you can actually compare the meters. So that's a decent chunk right there. And then if I do it does. It scales a little bit. It scales a little bit. There you go. Well, thank you, Boo Boo Meow. I'm glad to hear that. That's what I'm here for. So yeah, you can see right there, just keep an eye on that difference in the life right there. Just keep an eye on the difference in the life. And it is definitely a lot more here. So yes, the life that you steal is different. So there you go. Oh, you steal exactly the same amount of damage that you do? I thought that they might be different. I didn't think that they would be related from each other. So I didn't think it was the exact amount of damage that you did is what you stole. I didn't even think about that. But I guess that's actually true. I guess that actually makes sense in some way. So there you go. There you go. Dude, I need to put that on a t-shirt, Boo Boo Meow. You need to tweet me that if you're on Twitter again. Just be like, this is the only stream that I've learned anything about Marvel on so far, and then I can retweet that and be like, Boo Boo Meow says that mine is the only stream that you've learned anything on.
Somewhere around we go, courtesy of your friendly neighborhood wall crawlers.
Okay, trying to think if there's anything else I want to cover here. I mean, the interesting thing about Soulstone usage is it really just kind of counts as a special move. Soulstone usage just counts as a special move, pretty much regardless of which stone that you have. Mind Stone, of course, is only a throw, so it doesn't work in those situations. Actually, I just thought of something sick. Can I super cancel this? No, I can't. Oh, I'm so sad. Actually, what I really want to test was the Space Stone. I want to do, like, from a screen away, dude. Oh, you can't suck them in and hit stun? Really? Oh, I'm so sad about that. If they're in hit stun, you can't suck them in? I feel like that defeats the whole purpose of this gem. Yeah, like I wanted to be able to launch and suck them back down because I feel like there would have been a lot of cool things I could do with that. I'm so sad right now. Yeah, I didn't want to talk about surges just yet. I just wanted to talk about how and when you can use gems. And it really looks like you can really only use gems like a special move, basically. So I can do it after whiffing a normal, I can do it during super jumps, etc., but I can't do it during special moves, basically. Oh, it doesn't nullify projectiles? It has armor, if I'm not mistaken. I don't think it's a projectile nullifier. It's just that there's armor on the Space Stone Vacuum. So you can actually counter Reality Gem that way. So if I actually did this, David did this to me, and I got so mad at him for doing this. But it was also really sick that he did it. It was really funny, actually. So he did that, and then... See, like, you can absorb it like that. So he actually just did, with Thor, he did, and, like, absorbed the Reality Stone, and then... command through me, and I was so mad about that. I was like, you are a jerk, you are dirty. So there you go. But there's a lot of cool things that you can do with the Space Stone, I think. Like, because the cool thing about the fact that you can do it on whiff, like, I can come over here and scare someone. Like, I can be like, whoops, wrong button. I can do like they're in a defensive state and stuff like that. So yeah, there's nothing that's dirty in this game, actually, to be honest. Yeah, you can definitely mash it in the air and just keep sucking them in there and keeping them. Oh, but since it's a special move, you can only do it 3 times. Since it counts as a special move, you can only do it 3 times. Just like, oh, that's something I forgot to cover in the special move section. That's right. If you have an air special move, you can only do them. You can only do a total of 3 special moves in the air, regardless of what the special move is. You can only do 3 of them. So I can do zip, swing, web ball, and that's the end of it, right? I can do web ball, swing, zip. But you can only do 3 total, and that's it. That's it. So there you go. That's something I forgot to talk about, okay? Pen and stare animation is the saddest thing in the world right now. It makes me so depressed every time I see that. There you go. Hey, thanks, Maximilian, dude. Maximilian, dude, has subscribed for 7 months in a row. Domo arigato. Shishe ni. But yeah, so again, you can only do 3 special moves in a row, and then the Soul Stone. So basically, the Soul Stone will count the same way because it is a special move, essentially. So, shout outs to Mr. Maximilian, dude. Maximilian has supported me for a while right now, and he's pretty much the greatest. So, thank you very much, dude. So there we go. My cat is doing it again. Cat is attacking my kid. Oh no, she stopped because she saw me paying attention to her again. Hi, kitty. Hi, kitty. God, this cat, she's so cuddly. Look at this. She just loves people so much. Domo arigato, Mr. Dude Bato. I like that, actually. What do you mean, Caramel Jenkins? That Surge is making them... I don't think that Surge is making them defend. No, it does not. The Surge does not actually make them defend. That's why there's armor on it. So if the enemy actually touches a button, that you'll absorb a bunch of things. But now the question is, how many things does it absorb, right? So if I did... Ooh. I actually had 2 hits of armor, it looked like, in there. Yeah, I actually had 2 hits of armor. So it looks like there's 2 hits of armor in it. So I could actually... Oh no, there's only 1 level. Only 1 hit of armor in there. Or maybe lights. Oh, maybe it has infinite armor against lights is probably what it is. So if I did, yeah, there you go. So it has 1 hit of armor against heavies, but then infinite armor against lights. So I could do... Yeah, so there you go. That's how it works. But again, I'll do a little bit more stuff on the individual gems in a future episode. I just wanted to understand how gem usage works, when you could use gems, and it looks like regardless of the gem, that the usage of it is always just counts as a special move. So Power Stone is going to be the same way. Oh dang! Double Power Stone puts them into safe reel. Interesting. Okay. So anytime you put 2 Power Stones in 1 combo, it puts them in the safe reel. That's sad. That's unfortunate. That seems kind of sad. Yes, there will be an Ultra Chen podcast today. I actually legit think the Mind Stone is going to be kind of sneaky. I secretly want to call it the Skullgirl Stone, because I just feel like there's going to be so much reset potential off of this. I feel like there's just going to be so much reset potential off of this stone. Oh, that's what I want. Yeah, see, right there, exactly what I wanted. Damn it, I always hit the wrong button. Oh, I'm gonna die by that so badly. But you're just gonna have to learn how to time that. Like, I just feel like that you're gonna be kind of like a really, you're gonna be able to find really dirty stuff with the Mind Stone at some point in time. So, I think that, let's see here. Does the Mind Stone kill red life like normal grabs do? That's a great question, actually. Let's find out. Let's find out! Wow, I'm really bad at this combo. Okay, now let's Mind Stone them. No, it does not. But if you really want to, you can do that after the Mind Stone to kill it. So it does not. It does not. But here we go. Yeah, the damage scaling is really high on the Mind Stone. But like, can you imagine if you went like oh, that would have been sick. God, I'm so sad I missed that. Oops. God, my fingers are getting so confused because I don't have the muscle memory for where the buttons are yet. Like, it's so hard for me because, like, I think heavy punch is that heavy punch, but it's that medium punch, etc. Like, just stuff like that. Like, I feel like the Mind Stone is gonna be like the ultimate reset. So I secretly want to call it the Skullgirl Stone, you know? Just like stuff like that, right? Like I just feel like there's just going to be a lot of dirty usages for this Mind Stone, and what that's actually going to produce is people trying to like run away. You know what I mean? Like, that's what I feel like that's going to happen. Like, then you're going to convince people to try to run away from these Mind Stone setups, so then you can catch them with lows, and then you can kill them off of that and stuff like that. I just feel like that there's a lot of Mind Stone stuff. Full reps and relaunch with X, chain into ground to forward HP, jump cancel to jumping Mind Stone. Yeah, like, I've had some ideas off of that. Like, let me see if I can do. What was I doing yesterday? What was I doing yesterday with Ghost Rider? I was doing. Oops. Ah, my muscle memory is just not good for this game right now. Oops. Dang it! I keep hitting that because I keep thinking it's roundhouse. I have that problem where my fingers just want to go to that place right there. See, I did it again. Even though I was just telling myself not to do that, I did it again. Jesus. Oh. Being old sucks. I'm just going to tell everybody that right now, man. I really feel like my brain doesn't work the same way that it used to. Like, It's so hard for me to get my brain wrapped around things these days. It's so much slower than it used to be. Oh, shoot. I was going to try to do that off of that, basically, right there. Could be the drive, but I don't think it's the drive, because, trust me, I love training mode. I can sit here and play in training mode forever. I can play in training mode forever, and the things that mess me up is just like my muscle memory gets stuck on things, and like I feel my brain just shut off sometimes, where I'm just like, all of a sudden, like my brain gets empty, and I'm like, what the hell was I trying to do again? I really don't think it has to do with the drive. Oh dang, he flips out so fast. I didn't jump. I didn't jump. Ah. I'm trying to super jump cancel my launch, but it's like not actually happening. That's weird. What the heck? Let's see, I can super jump cancel right there. There'll be a show tonight, yes. See, I got to the end there and I started thinking about something else, and then I just forgot what I was trying to do again. Ugh. Huh. Why am I having so much trouble aiming that now? Yeah, there we go, finally. So yeah, that's kind of what Maximilian was talking about, like doing a late combo and then getting that mix up there. Because I see the launch and then people will block because they're just naturally thinking that you're going to keep going for an air combo. But instead they flip out right away, and they flip out backwards because they're holding back just to block, maybe, just in case. So like if the aerial recovery was back like this. There's like all these different, there's down recovery? Jesus, there's all sorts of crazy recovery. Hang on a second, what the hell does down recovery look like?
Oh, not too shabby. Not too shabby.
Doesn't look any different.
Not too shabby.
Yeah, I guess that is down, okay. Let's see it again.
Not too shabby.
I guess down is just the same thing as neutral tech, kind of, in a way. Oh, you see that? Neutral is, there is actually a difference. So neutral, they pop up in the air a little bit. Whoop, like that. They pop, they basically pop in place. But if you hold down, they just fall like everything is normal. And what if I do down backwards? Yeah, they fall slightly to the side. Okay, that makes sense. So then these ones are just the same thing as down, except you're just slightly going sideways. Yeah, there you go. And then if you hold up, for example, so you can tech in every direction. That's something that I don't think a lot of people have really been talking about a lot. But yeah, you can definitely tech in all sorts of different directions. That's interesting. Okay. Okay. There you go. Interesting. Interesting. Okay, that's good to know. That's good to know. But if most people are just holding back to block, then you could probably, if you're in the corner, you'll launch them, they'll flip back. And then they'll flip back like this, and then I'll be able to Mind Stone reset them like that off of that long little sequence. So I just feel like Mind Stone might low-key be like really good if you find just the right team that has a lot of lockdown moves and has a lot of ways to like open people up, like, and then have reset opportunities in your combo. I just feel like you're gonna be able to get a lot of stuff out of that. Oh dang, he flipped back so far. So that would only work in the corner, unfortunately. So that would only work if we were already in the corner, basically. So like, for example, if we were over here. Wow, it's so much earlier than I think it is, which means it's actually a really good mix-up, because if I actually get used to the timing of it... Oops. Like, look at that. And then I get whatever combo I want off of that. Basically, okay. See, like, I feel like Mind Stone might low-key be a lot more powerful than people think, to be honest. So, But in any case, we've got half an hour left here of time before the Tuesday show starts. So I got to run downstairs and get that ready to go. So I am going to, I'm going to call it a night. I'm going to do the thing where I basically run the ad at the end of the show. I'm not going to be able to have the opportunity to feed the cats for you guys on... Oh, what the hell? I'm going to feed the cats on stream right now for you guys. Screw it. Oh, yeah, you can grab right after the Mind Stone to get rid of the life. Absolutely, absolutely. It's just going to be me and David again. It's just going to be me and David, so... Let's go, kitties. Let's go. It's so funny to me, too, because I really honestly feel like cat food is designed for people, not for actual... I feel like cat food is designed for people, not for the cats. Because, like, the cats probably like eating pate just as much as they like eating all the other kinds of cat food out there. But I just think cat food pate looks gross, and I don't like it, and I feel bad whenever I feed my cats pate, like, stuff. But they probably don't care. They probably think it tastes great. But it looks gross to me. Let's see, this is the chicken pate, so I want the duck pate. You know what? That's true. One of these days I should just try the cat pate, dude. Oh, my cat was doing it. She started climbing up. You saw the cute head pop up over there. She was just like, oh, please feed me. Please feed me. Kitty. God, she's so adorable. She's so impatient. She was like, where's the food? I know it's up here. Give me the food. Give me the food, please. Give me the food. Give me the food. And yes, I'm that Chinese mother kind of thing too, where like I give them the pate food, but I actually use my little spoon and I chop it up to make it look a lot nicer and everything. I don't just give them this lump of pate all of a sudden out of nowhere. Hi, kitty. Jesus. I swear my cats, you guys see it. I feed my cats all the time, but I swear they act like I starve them to death. What time I'll start tomorrow? If I don't accidentally fall asleep in the middle of the day, I should be starting at 3 to 4 p.m. like I'm supposed to, but I totally passed out in the middle of the afternoon today, and I apologize about that, so I had a late start. But tomorrow I might not actually be doing, I might actually be able to do an educational stream, depending on how long my Uncensored episode happens. If you're not familiar with Uncensored Boo Boo Meow, I will apologize ahead of time, but it is basically me doing not safe for work rants about something in the fighting game community that I don't like, and or just in video games or anything in particular. So I'm gonna do that tomorrow. If that doesn't take too long, those usually last like 3 hours or something like that. But if it doesn't take too long, I can go back into some Marvel stuff. I don't know if there's gonna be a real Wednesday Night Fights tomorrow because I know all the guys want to rest after SCR. So I might be able to stay home and stream some more and actually try playing online and see what happens if I get bodied. So talk about MvCI versus DBFZ. I'll talk about that tomorrow because I'll give you the TLDR now. There is no MvCI versus DBFZ. But maybe that is what you actually want me to talk about, Mr. Friday, because I can talk about that because I will tell people how stupid everybody's being about that whole entire thing. So, I want to talk about that. I mean, I can talk about that if people want to actually, okay, so that is what Mr. Friday wants to hear. I'll talk about that. I also did want to talk about this whole stupid concept about everybody, you know, saying stuff like, oh, well, I learned on my own. Why can't you learn on your own? Why do you want to be spoon-fed? Blah, 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 blah. I want to talk about that because that is pure shit and pure, utter garbage. This is the stupidest mentality that I've ever heard from any pastime whatsoever. I learned how to basket weave in the streets, man. I don't need you to. Why do you want me to teach you how to basket weave? It's like, come on, dude. I fucking go on the internet to learn how to put on a damn tie, dude. Okay, you know what? I'm saving it for jchensor tomorrow. I'm gonna save it for jchensor tomorrow. But also, I'm probably going to talk a little bit, because I'm actually really sick of it. I'm really sick of teabagging, and I actually want to talk about teabagging tomorrow. So I'm basically just really sick of that. So I'll probably talk about that a little bit tomorrow. Yeah, dude. Especially like when I was trying to learn Tekken, I was like, hey, can people help me, blah, blah, blah. And they're like, I learned this on my own. What do you have to have people tell you? I'm just like, dude, like, that's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. We learn so other people don't have to learn, so. Yeah, and the funny thing is, I'm actually old school, right? But it's like completely not. Oh, the AJ tweets are nothing, dude. The AJ tweets, dude, it happens, dude. You get mad about those kind of situations, and shit like that happens, and he apologized about it afterwards, so it's whatever, to be honest with you. I don't even think it's a problem. So, dude, cat happies, dude, don't even get me started on politics right now, man. I just don't even want to get into it right now. Not teabagging is the new teabagging. Yep, exactly. Learning is cool before you have a job and a wife. Counterpoint, I'm 100% quoting you on that, because that is so true. That is like one of the largest cruxes of my argument, and God, it just drives me nuts. Like, people, I am quoting that for sure, dude. Always got to show up for kitty time, absolutely. Learning by yourself is cool before you have a job and a wife. Oh, man. It's frustrating. Look at this. Nathan just ate his food like in 10 seconds. Jasmine is eating all slow and nice, eating her pate food. But once again, look at these eyes. Look at these cat eyes. Look at these beautiful cat eyes with this. Such a pretty cat. You're such a pretty cat. You know that? I actually like the fact that she's a black cat and the eyes just stand out. Like, there's just like this shadowy form, and then you just see the bright yellow eyes. It's just so pretty. I had completely even forgot black cats was considered bad luck when I went to adopt the cats. Like, I saw her in a picture, I was like, she's so pretty, and I wanted to adopt her. And I saw her in person, I was like, she is so pretty. And then she licked my hand, and I was like, I love this cat to death. And I adopted this cat, and I totally forgot black cats were even a thing until my mom found out I got cats. And then my mom, who was very, 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 very superstitious, and saw that I had a black cat, and she was like, why did you get a black cat? No. And I was like, what's wrong with the black? Ooh. I had completely forgotten. Yep, Asian moms, man. You know, Muffin. I'm guessing from that comment that you are Asian as well, dude. You gotta get some sleep, so you'll probably watch the Ultra Chen stream later this week. No problem, Nutacon. Thanks again for always all the support and everything like that. Sorry about the lack of Guilty Gear, but I might actually do, like, I'm actually finding out that I'm enjoying fighting games a lot more by doing week ofs. So I just did the week of Tekken, and I'm doing the week of Marvel right now. I might do a week of Injustice coming up, and then I'll do a week of Guilty Gear and stuff like that. I feel like I improve drastically better when I actually do week of streams. So there might be a week where I will do Guilty Gear lobbies almost every day. So that may be coming up soon. So keep an eye out for that. So what's the average lifespan of a cat? Probably around 10 years, I would think. If they get up to about 14, that's kind of long. But some cats obviously can... Oh, see, here comes Nathan. He's like, oh, time to forage for whatever's left in these bowls. And then he goes to the auto feeder that I have set up there, which is not even on. I use it when I'm traveling. But he'll go over there and he'll lick the auto feeder as well because he's just that hungry. He's just so hungry. Yeah, the Tuesday show's coming up. The Tuesday show's coming up in about 20 minutes. So actually, you know what? I need to go downstairs and get ready for that. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to go ahead and set it to the title screen again, run some ads. If you guys are totally down with it, please stay online until the ads are over. Turn off ad blockers if you've got them all so I can get some esports pennies. If you guys do appreciate this kind of educational content that I am producing, where I'm teaching people how the game works and we're learning the game from the ground up, like we are really getting into the meat of the systems and everything like that to really help you learn the game, you know, please consider, if you have the money, again, if you don't, I totally get it, but please consider subscribing, bits, or donations. All of those things are very much appreciated. So yeah, if you guys want to help contribute so that I can continue doing stuff like this, so I don't have to basically keep getting yelled at by my parents, you know. So I'm old, but I keep getting yelled at my parents, but that is what being Asian is about. I will be 60 years old, and if my parents are still around, they will still be yelling at me because that is what Asian parents do. So in any case, I wish I could bring the kiddies to the UCTV studios, but there are so many freaking, thank you, Cheap Sheep, thank you, Cheap Sheep, much appreciated, but there are so many freaking wires and just shit all over the floor. Like when you see the Ultra Chen studios, it looks all neat. If I ever turn the camera around, the room is just a fucking mess. It's just shit everywhere. So I cannot bring my cats into those things in there. But thank you, yes, sub hype. Thank you, Cheap Sheep, much appreciated. I need to do more work with my subs and get more emotes and stuff like that. The Nathan emote, I've promised. I worked on it one time and I couldn't make it look right, so I'm gonna try again very soon. Hopefully I can get a proper Nathan emote for all you guys. In any case, I will talk to you guys later in about 20 minutes. I'm going to the title screen. If you guys are willing to, stick around so I can get my esports pennies when I run the ads and turn off your ad blockers. Join twitch.tv/UltraChenTV to go watch the Tuesday show. Peace out, everybody.